Hi Vanessa, how's it going?
Hi, Jesse. Yeah, not too bad.
We're kind of stopping school in Singapore across over the next week or so. And you are a mother and a chiropractor, and you've pulled your kid out of school as well for the last week or so, right? If I'm not wrong. How has the
Yeah.
experience been for you so far?
Um, it actually hasn't been too bad.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a little bit more chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it has been fine.
Yeah. So I'm sure there must be some changes that would have happened, right? Because it's a different lifestyle, I suppose, to have your kid around all the time as opposed to before when your son would spend some time in school. Are there any encounters you have had that is maybe challenging and something that you didn't expect?
Um, well, we did have to go out the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even with the whole restriction going on. But we had no choice because we needed to go to the store for food.
Yeah.
Um, so I had to bring my son with me because I had no one to look after him,
Yeah.
um, which is not ideal, but I mean, what else could I do? Um, so I set two rules for him,
Mm-hmm.
one of which was to hold my hand and be by my side at all times. And
Yeah.
then the other was to avoid touching anything
Yeah.
and avoid touching his face as well.
Yep.
Um,
That's pretty good.
so
So you kind of have no choice because you had to get food, and there was no one else to look after your son. So now you have to bring the son along, and you make the best of the situation, right? By setting some boundaries for him to follow. How did that pan out?
yeah, exactly. So that kind of failed.
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
the moment we got to the store, he forgot the two rules.
Yeah.
So he left my side and he touched everything, like every shelf he could reach, and then proceeded to touch his nose and face straight
Yeah.
afterwards. Um, so obviously, I was quite ticked off and
Mm.
anxious about it because you don't know
Yeah.
how clean the shelves are.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we on the way home, I thought about it because I was still really upset.
Mm.
Um, and I realized, like, oh, he's four. Like, he hasn't been out all week. It's first time that week.
Yeah.
It's understandable for him to be really excited and to just, forget those rules.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think maybe that is something that people might not have considered when you pulled your child out of school. He would have friends or like classes to keep him stimulated and occupied that he maybe no longer has now that he spends most of his time at home. So that's a really good point. And those rules were actually good, I think. And I think it's also fair that you got ticked off because I'm sure for you that's a new experience as well. How did you proceed after that? Were there any things that you kind of tried to introduce at home to help him to understand what is going on, since you are effectively kind of homeschooling your son now, right?
So I took that as a learning experience and also made it into a learning experience for him.
Yep,
Um, we did a little experiment on hand hygiene and the
yep,
importance of washing our hands with soap, um, which he took really well.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me a bit more about the experiment? I think I saw photos on the social media, but I wasn't really sure how it worked.
So basically, it was a bowl of water with like pepper floating in it,
Yep.
and then another bowl with just soap or soapy water. He was to dip his finger first in the pepper water, which is the germs.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, he'll have to clean his finger off in the soapy solution.
Yep.
And then with his finger still sort of dripping with soap, he was to
Mm-hmm.
put it back into the pepper or germ water, and then the pepper would like move away
Mm.
from his finger. So basically showing how soap works and how, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you think he understood what you're trying to teach him? Is there any changes that you have noticed, maybe in his behavior or how he's dealing with the situation?
Um, he definitely like understood what I was trying to teach him, and
Yeah,
actually I've noticed he's starting to implement it to his, daily
yeah,
life. I mean, he's 4, so previously we've had to remind him on good hand hygiene, wash your
yes,
hands after bathroom, wash your hands before you eat. And
yeah,
in the last week, he's been doing that by himself.
right.
Um,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, which is really good.
Yeah, yeah, I'm surprised because it's only 4, right? So I'm sure it's difficult to get a 4-year-old to understand why it's important to wash his hands because it's kind of a boring task for him, I suppose, and to do it so often through the day as well. Do you
Yeah.
have any strategies to help parents who are about to start their child at home arrangement? I think over the next couple of weeks, do you have any strategies for parents to implement to help with the transition?
Mm-hmm. Um, Obviously, having a schedule really helps to organize your day.
Yeah.
Have a don't beat yourself up if you can't stick to a strict
Mm.
schedule. Like it's okay. Um, and also to take some time
Yeah.
for yourself each day. So, what my husband and I do is we have some alone time each day.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's could be half an hour, could be an hour, but basically, we're child free for that period of time, and we can use that time to unwind.
Yeah.
Um, just do something we like so that, we're not losing our sanity.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
Because
course.
it can be quite stressful spending that much time with your child
Yeah.
every single day, homeschooling them while trying to work from home. Like
Yeah.
it can be very stressful. So taking just a little bit of time each day just to do something that's not work related, not child related, and
Mm,
that's
yeah.
just good for your mental health, I think is really important in terms of coping with the changes that's happening right now. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the maybe physical activity situation? Because now you can't go to the gym outside anymore. You can't work out outside anymore, right? You spend most of the time at home. How do you burn off the energy, or how do you stay fit and healthy for yourself or your husband?
We're quite lucky. We have a full gym set up at home.
Yep.
Um, so we try to exercise as frequently as possible. Um, for my husband, he exercises every single day for an hour. For me, it's a little less,
Yep.
about 3 to 4 times a week.
That's still a
But
lot.
yeah, exercise, yeah, it's still good.
Yeah.
But yeah, exercising is just a great way to keep moving and to relieve stress as well and to
Yes.
stay healthy.
Yeah, do you have any advice for the parents in Singapore who are soon to move to the work from home plus having kids at home away from school situation? Any advice to help them transition into that? Any other
Really just take
opportunities?
it.
Yeah,
Really just take it one step at a time.
yeah,
It's a big change for everyone. So
yeah,
don't expect it to, run smoothly or perfectly from
yeah,
day one. It's going
yeah.
to take some time to adjust and to get used to things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Vanessa, so much for your time. So to summarize, I think from your own experience, since you started that ahead of us, when you pulled your child out of school, the things that you found most useful was to take things one step at a time, and I think that also include being kind to yourself or being self-compassionate, especially when things don't go according to plan. And
Yeah.
you also implemented strategies such as taking 30 minutes to an hour of personal time for yourself without your child and your husband. So that's like your own alone time. And on top of that, you also work out with your husband when you do work out with him to kind of de-stress together as well, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Cool. Do you have anything else to add?
No, not really. I think that summarized everything pretty well.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time, Vanessa. I'm sure the other people or the other parents who are moving into the more time at home arrangement would appreciate what you've shared so far.
That's okay, Jesse. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Thank you. See you.
See ya.